Shalom. Our Torah portion this week is K'doshim, and it begins with the 19th chapter of the book of Leviticus. Let's see what it says. Vaydaber Adonai el Moshe limor, daber el kol adat b'nei Yisrael, v'amarta alehem, K'doshim tihiyu ki kadosh ani Adonai Elohechem. The Eternal One spoke to Moses, saying, "Speak to the whole Israelite community and say to them, you shall be holy, for I, the Eternal your God, am holy." Now, this Torah portion is all about K'doshim, which means holiness. This idea of holiness is right at the center of the Torah, actually the geographical center, if you will, the heart of the Torah. The Leviticus is the third of 5 books, and K'doshim is right in the middle of that book. Holiness, K'doshim, is a very important concept in Judaism. Now, what does it mean to be holy? What are the implications of being holy? Leviticus, at least at the very beginning of the book, is dedicated to K'doshim in a priestly sense. There are all of these very detailed laws on how the priests are to prepare their bodies, to purify their bodies, washing themselves, washing their clothes, and a lot of attention is paid to diet, rituals that purify the body, to make the body holy. Now, there are others who say that K'doshim, holiness, has not so much to do with ritual purity, with rituals that are physical in nature or involve our bodies. But they point to this week's Torah portion, K'doshim, which has a number of rules, a number of laws regarding interpersonal relationships. We're told, for example, that we should revere the elderly. We are told not to stand idly by while our neighbors bleed. We are told not to bear grudges against each other and to love our neighbor as ourselves. People who look at the Torah or look at Judaism and for a clue on how to be holy will look at those particular laws of ethics and morality and say, that's what constitutes a law of holiness. Well, there's even a different level of holiness. Not that ritual purity isn't part of a holy life, not that ethics and morality are not a part of a holy life, but there's even a deeper sense of holiness with a deeper significance. And we learn about this through a Hasidic teaching that quotes a very interesting midrash. The midrash that it quotes says, "There will be no death in your midst." Isn't that interesting? If you're holy, there will be no death in your midst. Now, how can that be? How could there ever exist a community without death? Because people's lifespans are only so long. Well, this Hasidic teaching goes on to quote King David in the Psalms. In Psalm 118, King David says, or I don't think he was a king at this time, he says, "I shall not die but live. I will declare the deeds of God." The Zohar, the primary text for Kabbalah, teaches that any prayer that we utter, any praise of God, anything that we do that's supposedly required in our tradition, that does not grow out of love, that doesn't reach to the depths of our heart, and is not said or done with a great sense of love and awe, some would say fear, a sense of great reverence, those things really do not constitute K'doshim, do not constitute holiness. King David said, I will not die, but live. For as long, and the Midrash says, sort of puts this into or interprets it. It says, what he was saying is that as long as I am alive, I may not be considered dead. Isn't that interesting? It's not about actually physically dying. It's about that spiritual death. Unless you are connected to your religious life, unless you dig deep into your heart when you pray, and pray with a sense of what we call in Hebrew, devekut, great attachment to God, and you pray out of a sense of love and trembling and reverence, you will not experience holiness unless you do these things. If you pray in this way, if you keep your mitzvot in this way, that is, with a sense of attachment to God, you will never be considered dead while you are alive. You will animate your life. You will attach yourself to the very force of life, which is God. And your own mortality, in a sense, becomes trivial. Well, I hope that you will read this week's Torah portion and come to your own conclusion. Shabbat Shalom.